Have you ever stopped to think about how a few minutes, literally just a handful of minutes right after an injury, can completely change your life? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. We're going to see how the right first aid isn't just about making it feel better in the moment, it's about rewriting the story your skin is going to tell for the rest of your life. Just look at this. Really, look. It's the exact same injury, but these are two totally different futures for someone's skin. On one side, you've got a thick, raised scar that's there for life. And on the other, skin that's healed so well you can barely tell anything happened. The decider wasn't luck, it wasn't the injury itself, it was what happened in the first 20 minutes. The stakes couldn't be higher. And this right here, is the heart of it all. This is the big idea for our whole explainer today. What you do in those first few critical minutes, well, that sets the stage for everything that follows. We're talking about a choice that impacts your confidence for years, even decades to come.
So you might be wondering, how does this actually work? What's the science behind it? Well, let's pull back the curtain. You have to stop thinking of healing as a quick fix. Instead, picture it like a massive construction project, one that takes up to 2 years to complete. And believe it or not, the final quality of that entire build is almost completely decided by the choices made on day one. It's pretty incredible, actually. The body's first move isn't about perfection. It's all about speed. It rushes to the scene and slaps down this messy, kind of disorganized patch of what's called type 3 collagen. Think of it like emergency scaffolding. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done fast. But then, over the next year or two, the body starts this meticulous, careful process of replacing all that temporary scaffolding with strong, organized type I collagen. That is the final permanent structure.
So here's the catch. There's a villain in the story, and its name is persistent inflammation. See, if the initial injury isn't managed the right way, inflammation hangs around for way too long. And when that happens, that critical switch, the one that goes from messy scaffolding to a strong, permanent structure, it just fails. It breaks. And the result? You're left with a weak, bulky, disorganized scar. And let me introduce you to one of the key workers on this construction crew, the myofibroblast. This little guy's job is to pull the edges of the wound together. Super important, right? But if that inflammation switch gets stuck in the on position, these worker cells they don't know when to clock out. They keep pulling and pulling and pulling way too hard for way too long. That causes a permanent tightening called a contracture, which can actually limit your movement forever. All of this can lead to two main types of what you could call bad builds. First, you have a hypertrophic scar. It's raised, it's red, but at least it plays by the rules and stays inside the original borders of the injury. But a keloid scar, oh, that's a whole other story. That's true rebel tissue. It's this massive overproduction of collagen that just goes wild, growing way beyond the original wound and invading healthy skin. It's an aggressive process, and sometimes there's a genetic link. Okay, enough of the why, we get it, it's important, so let's shift gears to the how. This is your playbook. It's based on solid evidence, and it's designed to help you make the absolute best choice in the heat of the moment so you can set your body's little construction project up for success right from the start. All right, let's put you on the spot. Picture this. You're cooking, a splash of hot oil hits your arm. What's your first instinct? What is the very first thing you reach for? Go ahead, think about it. Because your answer right now could literally change the look of your skin forever. Now, if your first thought was butter, you are definitely not alone, but it's a really dangerous myth. The physics here are super simple. Butter is fat, right? It's an insulator. So when you put it on a burn, it literally traps the heat inside your skin. It can turn a minor burn into a much deeper one. But cool flowing water, it does the exact opposite. It's conductive. It actively pulls the heat out of your skin and carries it away, saving that tissue. So here it is, the correct evidence-based protocol. Step 1, stop the burning. Get away from the source of heat. Step 2, and this is the absolute game changer, cool the burn with running tap water for a full 20 minutes. And yes, I mean a full 20 minutes. Why so long? Because that heat isn't just on the surface, it's soaked deep into the tissue. It takes that long to pull all that residual heat out and save the fragile tissue that's right on the edge of dying. This one act can dramatically reduce how deep the burn ends up being. And third, once you're done cooling, cover it loosely with something clean, like cling film. Okay, let's switch from burns to cuts and scrapes. And here's a powerful little saying to remember. Cells can't swim in a desert. That old wives' tale about letting the wound air out to form a big, hard scab, it's pretty much the worst thing you can do if you want to avoid a scar. And this visual shows you exactly why. On the left, you see a dry environment.
Your little healing cells have to struggle and crawl over that rough, cracked scab. It's a slow, tough journey that actually encourages inflammation and usually ends in a wider scar. But now look at the right. In a moist environment, those same cells can just glide smoothly and efficiently across the wound, like they're flowing down a river. The result? A much cleaner, thinner heal.
So the right protocol is just beautifully simple, and it's been proven for decades, ever since Dr. George Winter did his groundbreaking research way back in 1962. It's 3 words: clean, moist, covered. First, clean the wound really well. Second, cover it with a proper dressing to keep it moist and create that perfect healing river. And third, just keep an eye on it for any signs of infection. That's it. All right, one more extreme: frostbite. The rules here are just as vital. You have to rewarm the tissue, and you have to do it rapidly in a warm water bath. The sweet spot is around 40 to 42 degrees Celsius. That's the perfect temperature to get blood flowing again and save those tiny little blood vessels without causing another burn. And whatever you do, please, do not rub it. When tissue is frozen, it's full of tiny, sharp ice crystals. Rubbing it is like grinding sandpaper on the inside of your body. You're literally shredding those delicate structures and guaranteeing permanent damage.
So, we've talked about a lot of things you can handle incredibly well right at home, as long as you have the right knowledge. But now I need us to get serious for a minute. Let's shift our tone, because there is one symptom, one unmistakable red flag that means you stop what you're doing and escalate to emergency care immediately. No exceptions.
We're talking about something called necrotizing fasciitis. It's a rare but incredibly dangerous deep tissue infection. On the surface, the skin might just look a little red, maybe a bit swollen, nothing too crazy. But the dead giveaway, the hallmark sign, is pain that is completely, wildly out of proportion to how the injury looks. It's called a silent killer because all the real destruction is happening deep down where you can't see it. So let this be burned into your memory. If the pain you are feeling is 10, 20, 100 times worse than what the wound looks like it should be, that is your signal. That is the emergency alarm bell going off. Do not wait. Do not try to tough it out. Escalate. Get to an emergency room now. This might just be the most important red flag you ever learn. Okay, let's bring it all home. The science here is crystal clear. You are not just a passive bystander when it comes to scarring. Armed with the right knowledge, you become the architect of your own healing. You can make choices that will literally build your confidence for a lifetime. So here they are, the golden rules to lock away. For burns, 20 minutes of cool running water, and please, no ice. For wounds, keep them moist and covered. Say no to scabs. For frostbite, a nice warm bath. Absolutely no rubbing. And the big one, the red flag. If the pain is way, way bigger than the appearance, escalate immediately. In the end, it all comes down to this. Your actions in those first few critical minutes, they set off the entire chain reaction that will play out for the next 2 years. That's not me being dramatic, that's just biology. By using this knowledge in a moment of crisis, you are literally taking the pen and rewriting the outcome. You are preventing a permanent reminder of that injury and architecting a much better result for your future self. So I want you to remember this. When it comes to an injury and your skin, that first choice you make, it isn't just a Band-Aid. It's the first, most important brushstroke on what will become your final masterpiece.